Mind Your Own Life, The Journey Back to Love. Where were you? The Earth is mind-bendingly old, 4.54 billion years old according to researchers and geologists. In fact, the Earth was around for 117 million years before the Moon formed. Upon hearing of these massive time spans, an inquisitive person might ask about our lives here on Earth. Where was I when all this was taking place? Where am I right now? And where will I be in the future? Nobody on Earth can know the answers to questions like these, so I certainly won't pretend to. But let's ponder briefly. Where were you and I 100 years ago? How about 1,000 or even 1,000,000,000 years ago? Surely we were indeed somewhere in the universe. Even more perplexing, where will you and I be 1,000,000 years from today? Our bodies weigh exactly the same before and after our last breath. It's reasonable to say that we are much more than our bodies, which are really just a vessel for our experience here on Earth. Our minds define who we truly are. You might even say that we're never actually in our bodies to begin with. But if life has no weight or substance to it, then what is it? This is just another question that can't be answered here on Earth. Nevertheless, this notion warrants further inquiry. These questions beckon us to heighten our awareness of our source and ask, what then gives value to life as we know it? Life has to be contained in our minds, souls, and spirits, since it has no material value. That said, the mind is of utmost importance. Our bodies, along with our brains, are here in physical form, but our minds are our ultimate observers. The mind exists in all places at once, much as a radio station emits from a remote location, but yet is accessible virtually anywhere for those who choose to tune in. We are not these physical bodies that we have been taught to believe we are. We are our minds. In fact, our bodies are made up of the exact same matter as were people who came long before us. Their bodies have since decomposed, become part of the Earth's surface we walk on, and become our bodies. Of course, someday our own bodies will in turn become the very dust matter that others walk upon. Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut pilot of Apollo 14, was one of the first men to walk on the Moon. He gave an intriguing account of his experience in space, describing his view out into the great abyss of the universe from his spacecraft. He described galactic clusters, twinkling stars, and limitless cellular formations. Imagine his powerful epiphany when he sensed that the molecules of his body, the spacecraft, and his flight partners were all connected in a oneness, and that oneness had been prototyped ages ago. Mitchell's account of his epiphany in space still sends chills down my spine. Suddenly, from behind the rim of the Moon, in long, slow-motion moments of immense majesty, there emerges a sparkling blue and white jewel, a light, delicate sky-blue sphere, laced with slowly swirling veils of white, raising gradually like a small pearl in a thick sea of black mystery. It takes more than a moment to fully realize. This is Earth, home. My view of our planet was a glimpse of divinity. Buddhism has a name for this experience, samadhi, the highest form of meditation in which you experience oneness with the universe. After retiring from the astronaut program, Dr. Mitchell founded the Institute of Noetic Sciences, a foundation to sponsor research on consciousness and inner knowing. Mitchell's experience is compelling, and it's relevant to our lives here on Earth today. Such a major paradigm shift has the tendency to put our problems into perspective. Many times, those we idolize the most are in fact the least perfect. Religious zealots publicly oppose abortion and same-sex marriages, but behind closed doors, they fornicate, divorce and remarry, masturbate, and are unfaithful. When they take these loud, aggressive, hypocritical stances, it only separates us in our journey to achieve a harmonious existence. It's time for us to become the judges of our own lives. In our attempt to elevate our standing in society, we insist on separating others into classes by age, race, gender, education, sexual orientation, neighborhoods, income, religion, and every other category we can imagine. We've become obsessed with status, power, and money. We often lose sleep worrying about keeping up with the Joneses, who in turn lose sleep themselves as they try to keep up with us. We play mind games with the very people we profess to love. Think of all the times you may have been hell-bent on winning an argument with your significant other. We must even evaluate our relationships with those we see on a day-to-day basis. Perhaps, in 100 or 1,000 years, none of these things will really matter. As we work to make our lives more harmonious, let's remember a quote by Albert Einstein. "We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." Surely we can take what Einstein said and apply it to our lives today. By using a different kind of thinking, we can answer our questions about spirituality, morality, sexuality, and religion. We can discover the authentic love and acceptance that humanity once knew. Welcome to Mind Your Own Life.